forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to get notified with my latest update. In our previous video, we have already seen what is management, what are its importance. So let's start with management as a process. How management acts as a process? Management is not just a one-time task. Within an organization, we see the repetitive tasks keep on going. Like once one product or one task is finished, again a new task come up. So again you have to involve your people, your employee, your team in another task. So it's an ongoing process. Once one task finishes, another task come. It's not just one day thing. Again and again you have to come up, you have to complete the task, again you get a new task to work on. Okay, so it's an ongoing process where management is not just one time task, but continuously you keep on getting the task once you finish the previous one. Well, we can say it's a step-by-step ongoing activity where planning, organizing, leading and controlling is seen. We use planning, organizing, leading and controlling to get the work done and to achieve a certain predetermined goal of the organization. There are so many people, so many scholars who has done certain research and came up with the definitions such as according to George R. Terry, management is a structured process that uses human and other resources to meet organization goals effectively, or any goals effectively according to him. There are three main aspects of management. Management as a social process, where management is about working with people. It builds strong relationships and teamwork to help everyone move together toward the same goal. Okay. Second, we have it's a integrated process. It's a integrating process where it brings together all resources like people, money, machines. Okay, so they work in a harmony, they work together and support the organization's purpose, organization goal. Third, it's a continuous process. How? Management never stops. It keeps identifying problem and finding solutions. It makes sure the organization keep running smoothly and adapt to the changes. So it's a continuous process. Hence, overall we can say management is a process, and whenever you have to write, you can add all these points. Next, we have management as an activity. How it's an activity? Management is like other daily activity we do, such as writing, playing or cooking. When you go to any organization, you see that you have assigned a task. You have been assigned task, and according to that task, you start your work and you try to complete that task. Okay, it involves a manager who guides the other to achieve goal. Okay, so it's an activity. According to Kunj O'Donnell, management is what a manager does. Okay, what a manager does, we know he makes the strategy, he guides you, he controls you, he directs you. Okay, he coordinates you. That's why we say it's an activity where we can see planning, we can see organizing activity, we can see directing and controlling activity. Okay, here management as an activity include three main type of tasks. First, informational activity, where managers need to share and receive information all the time. They communicate with their team and higher up to keep the work running smoothly. Okay, that's why we say it's an informational activity. Second, we have it's a decisional activity. How? Manager takes any decisions that affect how things are done. Okay, for example, if you have been assigned certain task, how to get that task done, to whom to assign, what would be the time frame, etc. This decision who takes? Manager. That's why we say it's a decisional activity where manager makes any decision that affect how things are done. For example, a sales manager decide how to advertise and other managers act based on that decision. Third, management acts as interpersonal activities. Since management is about working with people, manager must build good relationships with their bosses and team members. They help in solving problem and take care of their team, like deciding bonuses and many more. That's why we say it's an interpersonal activity where manager builds good relationship with their superior and subordinate. After understanding management as an activity, we will see management as a discipline. How management acts as a discipline? Management is a field of study that focuses on the principle and practices of running an organization smoothly. Management teaches managers how to behave properly and how to use resources wisely. It also sets certain rules and methods that managers should follow to make their work effective. Today, management is taught in almost all the schools and universities and as a formal course. And we make leaders, we make managers. Okay, people can learn this through any course or diplomas in management schools and become professional managers. That's why we say it's a discipline where you can learn somewhere, you can learn the principles, you can learn how to manage a group, how to manage the organization. Okay, for any subject to be called discipline, it must meet two conditions. First, there should be experts who do research and share knowledge about it. And we have seen in management, we have research of so many scholars like Henry Fayol, F.W. Taylor, Kunj O'Donnell, and many more. So it meets the first requirement where there should be an expert who do research and share knowledge about it. Second, it should be taught through education and training program, and we have seen that there is BBA courses, there's MBA courses which basically teach you about the management. So we can say it is taught through education and training programs. That's why it's a discipline. Next, we have management as a science. Since study, or you can say science study facts by observing, by testing and finding cause and effect relationship. Similarly, we have seen there are so many scholars who has conducted the research and came up with the facts. They have came up with their research, they have came up with their observation. That's why it's a science where certain observation has been conducted, where a certain test has been done, where some findings has been found out. Okay, there are so many experiments done by so many people like Henry Fayol, F.W. Taylor, and many more. So it's a science because they have conducted the research and according to that they have get the testing done, they have get the findings. Here its key features are: first, it is universal truth. Scientific principles apply everywhere and always. Okay, the result comes always the same. That's why it acts as a science. Management also has universal rule like unity of command. Each employee should have only one boss, which we have seen in most of the companies, that one subordinate have to get the instruction from one boss. Like this, they get the command and they get the task done. So it's a universal truth and everywhere the unity of command is followed. Second, we have based on observation. Scientific facts come from experiment, not just opinion. Management principles are also developed through research and real experience. That's why it also meets the second key feature, which is based on research. Third is cause and effect relationship. We have seen science explain how one thing causes another. For example, there are Hawthorne experiment where we have seen if you make certain changes, what will be the result. We have often seen that there is motivation theory, theory X and theory Y. If you raise the payment, what will happen? If you deduct the payment, what will happen? If someone is taking their job for granted, if you demote them, what will happen? If you promote them, what will happen? So the cause and effect relationship you have seen in almost everywhere within an organization. What you do, how you can motivate someone, how you can motivate your employer, you can see through cause and effect relationship. That's why we say science explain how one thing causes another. In management, for example, fair wage cause higher employee satisfaction. Fair practices reduces the conflict within an organization, and many more. Fourth point is testable and predictable. Scientific principles can be tested repeatedly and predict results. Management principle can also be tested, like how one boss improves performance. We have seen that all the test results which has been seen in experiments, the same test result is seen again and again. For example, if the behavior of boss is good, employee feel happy, their productivity is high. If you raise their salary, they feel motivated, they like to work more, and they don't leave their job often. Okay, so these are the testable and predictable responses. Like, of course, if you give someone good salary, they won't leave and they won't shift to another competitor. They will be loyal to you. So that's why we say that science management acts as a science where all these key features is seen. Now we will see management as an art. Management means using knowledge and skills creatively to get the best result. Management is also known as art because it involve applying learned principle in real life situation. We have seen that scientific principles or management principles, we don't only study, we actually implement those principles in daily life in organization, and we get the good result. Okay, that's why we say it's an art, because we actually use those knowledge and those skills in our daily life when we are working at our place. Here are certain key features which make it an art. First, practical knowledge. Just learning theory is not enough. Like a painter needs to use color and brushes well to be a painter. A management must use management principles effectively in real situation so that he can be a good manager. That's why it's a practical knowledge. Second feature is personal skill. Every artist has their own style. Similarly, each manager has a unique way of working based on experience and personality. We have seen there are certain good managers, certain bad managers. People like to work under good manager who listen to them, who delegate the task, who assign the task properly, who don't act as a dictator but likes to get the work on time, and even while taking the work from their employee, they like to motivate them, they like to encourage, they like to get their problem solved. Okay, so it's a personal skill where a manager uses their unique way of working based on their experience and personality. Third, creativity. Art involves imagination. Management also combine resources in creative way to solve problems and research goals. Okay, have you ever seen that certain company taglines are very nice, certain company advertisement is very attractive, certain company packaging, colors, or their taste, their flavor, their fragrance is very nice in compared to other competitors. How is it done? Through creativity. Whenever there is innovation, whenever there is creativity, automatically your product become better than that of competitor. That's why we say it's an art where management combine resources in creative way to solve problems and reach goal. Fourth point we have, practice makes perfect. The more you practice, the more you become better. Similarly, when you try to solve the problem, when you know how your workers thinks, how you get the maximum output from them, how you get that, when you observe your employee, when you do the things again and again, when you understand them better, when you know how to handle that team in an effective way. So how it is done through practice, the more you interact, the more you control them better, the more you try to resolve their issues, the more you make them motivated or keep them motivated while the work, the more better performance you see. That's why we say management is a way where practice makes you perfect. The more practice you do, the more you manage, the more your skill enhances. Fifth point, goal oriented. All art aims at result. Similarly, management also focus on achieving goal using resources like people, money and machine. So it's a goal oriented. So finally, we can conclude management is an art because it requires skill, it requires creativity and practices to guide people toward achieving goal. Next, we have management as a profession. Management is seen as a profession because it involves guiding and controlling people to achieve business goal, like any other subject, law or medicine. It needs specific knowledge, skill, and ethical behavior. Similarly, management is also a profession where we see certain skills are involved, knowledge are involved, and ethical behavior is involved. Let's look how it meets the features of a profession. First, it have specialized knowledge. We know that people go to the colleges and get their masters done in business, get their bachelors done in business. Okay, so we say professional need deep knowledge of their field. Manager also must learn principles and techniques of management to work effectively, and for that what they do is they go for the courses, they enroll themselves into the courses, and they get the knowledge from their courses, from their subject, and then they learn all the tools, all the techniques, all the principles, and they implement those when they are actually working within an organization. Second is formal education and training. There are a number of institute and university to provide you the MBA degrees or to provide you management knowledges and training programs. No one can practice a profession without going to a professional courses. Okay, many institute of management have been set up to provide you these knowledges, and you can easily go enroll yourself and get that knowledge through the education or training programs. Third, we have social obligation. Professionals aim to serve society. Likewise, manager must think beyond profit and provide quality goods and services for the benefit of people. We have seen so many companies focus on creating goodwill so that their customer come back and buy or get connected from the same company. Not every company think of making just profit, but they want to create a long-term client relationship. They want people to again come back and buy the product or get the service from them whenever they need. And for that they literally focus on creating a social responsibility so that they serve the society by providing them the quality of goods and services and benefit the people. Fourth is code of conduct. Professions follow a set of ethical rules, like All India Management Association provide a code of conduct for managers, but it cannot legally punish those who break these rules. So you have to literally follow, like if you are a manager, you have to cooperate with your team, you can't do injustice with them, you can't go beyond the humanity, you can't be partial to one and ignore the another, or ignore the one who is literally giving his best and not pampering you, but just providing the best effort and giving the most output among all the members. But just because they are not pampering you, you are not giving them the credit which they deserve. That's not good. So here, profession follow a set of ethical rules where you have to be very balanced. You have to be good with all your employee, you have to treat them well, you have to show that you are biased with everyone. You are not just favoring one person, but you are literally focusing on the person who is giving the best work or good output. Okay, fifth point, we have representative association. Every profession has a regulatory body. For example, ICAI regulates chartered accountants. Similarly, AIMA represent managers but doesn't have legal authority to enforce rule. So here we have seen that management acts as a profession where management share many features with a profession, but because it lacks legal backing and strict qualification, is still considered a developing profession. Okay, so yeah, this was all about today's video, where we have seen what is how management acts as a profession, how it's science or an art, how it's an activity or a process. Okay, I hope this video was helpful. If you have any other question in your mind, let me know in comment box so that I can come up with relevant video.